The Almaty State Reserve was first organized in 1931 in the Little Almaty Gorge on an area of 130 square kilometers. In 1935, its territory was 6,000 square kilometers. It was given the status of a state. In 1940, the area of the reserve reached about 10,000 square kilometers. The state reserve was organized for the second time in 1961 in the Chilik and Kirgen districts of the Almaty region on an area of 1,280 square kilometers. Zhanusov, hero of socialist labor, was appointed as a director of the reserve. In 1964, a new area was allocated to the reserve from the lands of the Turgen and Talgar forestry enterprises. In 1966, the semi-desert area of Kalkany on the territory of Kerbulak region, with an area of 178.5 square kilometers, was attached to it, which in 1983 was seized under the Kapchigai hunting reserve. Currently, the Almaty State Nature Reserve is located in southwestern part of the Talgar district of the Almaty region in the central part of the Zaylysky Altau Ridge. The central estate of the reserve is located in the city of Talgar, in the micro-district Akku, in other words, Lebedinka. The total area of the reserve is 770 square kilometers. The length from north to south is 31 kilometers, from west to east 34. The highest peak of the ridge, Talgar Peak, rises to 4,978.8 meters above the sea level. The high mountain part of the territory is occupied by the Talgar Mountain glaciation node, from which the Talgar, Issyk, Shilik rivers originate, supplying the population of the region with drinking water. The nature of the reserve is unique in the diversity of mountain landscapes. Also, there is a meadow steppe zone, the area of which is from 1,400 to 2,600 meters in total. Also, the deciduous forests are located on the northern slopes from 1,200 to 1,600 meters. Shrank spruce dominates from 1,600 to 2,800 meters. The alpine and subalpine zones are located at the altitudes of 2,600 to 3,200 meters above sea level. There are 960 species of higher vascular plants in the reserve, belonging to 415 genera and 85 families. Of these, 13 species are tree species, 63 are shrubs, 3 are lianas, 79 are annuals, and 50 are biennials, and 712 are perennial species. The fauna includes 177 species of birds. 9 species are included in the Red Book of Kazakhstan. Among them are the shahin and sicklebeak, which are found only in the reserve, as well as the golden eagle, bearded vulture, kumai, etc. 39 species of mammals live there: deer, roe deer, wild boar, wolf, and others, of which 4 species are included in the Red Book, which are snow leopard, Tian Shan brown bear, stone marten, Turkestan lynx, etc. There are 5 types of reptiles, for example, muzzle, pattern snake, alagaloglass, and others. Of the amphibians, there are only 1 species, which is the green toad. The main task of the reserve is the preservation and study of the natural complex of the Zaylysky Altau and environmental education of the local population. Speaking of research activities in the Department of Science Information Monitoring, according to the staff list, there are 5 employees: the head of the department, 2 senior researchers, 1 junior researcher, 1 laboratory assistant. The general management of the department is carried out by the Deputy Director for Science. The working department is carried out according to the plan of research works. The Museum of Nature in the reserve was organized in 1967. Its area is 120 square meters. The expositions tell about the nature of the reserve and the territories adjacent to it. Ainura, the administrative representative of the museum, will tell us more. The territory of the Almaty Reserve is located in the central part of the Zaylysky Altau Ridge, one of the ridges of the northern Tian Shan. The Talgar Mountain Junction is located in the reserve, the highest point of which is Talgar Peak, 4,978.8 meters. Here more than 10 peaks rise, exceeding the line of 4,500 meters. The most abundant rivers are the southeast, left, middle, and right Talgar, as well as Issyk, South Issyk, and Zhagryk. The upper reaches of large rivers originating in glaciers are enlivened by moraine and dammed lakes. In the Issyk River basin, there are two lakes of landslide tectonic origin, Issyk and Akkol, as well as several marine lakes, the largest of which is Muskol. The most beautiful lake, Issyk, whose original name is Jasal Kol, existed in this original form until 1963. On a hot July day, a destructive mud flow broke through a natural dam in a matter of minutes and wiped out everything on its way, and even a picturesque mountain miracle. A characteristic feature of the slopes of Zailiski Altau is altitudinal zonality. A number of belts or zones are distinguished on the territory of the reserve. The southern slopes of the buffer zone of the reserve are occupied by steppe and partially meadow plant formations. Intense isolation creates a kind of steppe microclimate. Also, the deciduous mixed forest belt occupies heights from 1,200 and 1,600 meters above the sea level. And overall, the territory of the reserve is big enough for every animal species that belongs here. And of course, our responsibility is to protect them and save their species. The fauna of the reserve is very rich. When visiting the reserve, first of all, you pay attention to bright diurnal butterflies, of which there are at least 135 species. The fauna of vertebrates includes 230 species, including 3 species of fish, 2 amphibians, 6 reptiles, 177 birds, and 39 mammals. Again, Ainura will tell us more. Our bluebirds, common and brown dippers, nest near turbulent rivers and streams. Most birds nest in forest biotopes. Wood pigeon, spluska, spotted woodpecker, black-fronted shrike prefer deciduous forests. The bearded vulture and the shahin nest in the rocks of the spruce belt. The rocks of the alpine zone are inhabited by kumai, gray and rocky pigeons, chough and alpine jackdaw. Of the birds listed in the Red Book of Kazakhstan, golden eagle, bearded vulture, kumai, shahin, eagle owl, sicklebeak and bluebird nest in the reserve. The black stork and the pygmy eagle are sometimes seen in summer. The complex mountains relief, the exceptional diversity of the microclimate and vegetation cover also affect the distribution of mammals. Stone marten lives among large stone screes along rivers and streams. Its main prey is mouse-like rodents, but in autumn the fruits of mountain ash, hawthorn, and apple trees are not uncommon in its diet. More than 10 species of animals live in the forest belt. The badger arranges holes under bushes and trees. In spring, it feeds mainly on beetles, which it eats in large quantities. In summer, it switches to plant foods, berries, and fruits. Often destroys bird nests, eating their contents. Roe deer are almost often found in the lower and middle parts of the mountains, which is truly incredible. The reserve is the strictest form of nature protection. Therefore, the eco-trails visitors are required to be especially careful in handling nature. The location of ecological trails is such that the whole complex of the negative impact of tourists for the natural reserve is minimized. The flora of the reserve is rich and diverse. Its flora includes more than 960 species of higher plants, more than 50 species are rare, 28 of which are listed in the Red Book of Kazakhstan. In the lower belt of the mountains, this is an apricot, Mushketov's curlew, Siever's apple tree, Nedzevsky's apple tree is extremely rare, Caucasian carcass, Altai, Gymnospermium. On the steppe southern slopes, there are tulips of Koplakovsky and Ostrovsky, very rarely Albert's iris and Klopakovsky's iridodiction. In the middle belt, Whitrock's rhubarb is common. Semyonov's Corydallis, Orange Jaundice, Almata, Arthropod, Adonis Golden, and Tian Shan, Semyonov's Cortuza are very rare. But the rarest and the most original red book species are found in the hard-to-reach highlands of the reserve. Siberian Tian Shan in the upper reaches of the Shlik, completely unusual in appearance, Sauzuran wrapped in the upper reaches of the right Talgar, and along the outskirts of the Kozhanevsky's glacier, cobweb fluffy and at the same time prickly, Shalma Husinia on the ancient moraines of Issyk and Shilik. Excursions are limited in spring and summer due to the presence of encephalids, mites, and mudflow danger, and in winter and early spring due to snow and avalanche danger of the area. The most favorable period for visiting the territory and museum of the reserve is from August to November. The rarest representatives of the fauna of the protected area of the reserve is the snow leopard. These mammals of the cat family are distinguished by a color of amazing beauty. They live in mountainous areas. Their white coat serves as a disguise on the snowy slopes. In winter, snow leopards descend into the mountain valleys, where they hunt mountain goats. The exact number of individuals in the reserve is unknown due to their secrecy. Wolves, foxes, wild boars, badgers, porcupines, marmots, roe deer, and morels live in the alpine and forest zones of the Almaty Reserve as well. Most of them are listed in the Red Book of Kazakhstan and are under the protection of the reserve staff. It is our concern and responsibility to save the nature and nature reserves of Kazakhstan and the world from us, humans. Think about it, and maybe your contribution will be important and decisive. Didar Koshanov, Kimep University.